Now, there are very few things that progressives and people like Matt Drudge have in common. Now, one of them appears to be pissing off Trump supporters. Mm. Now, this is according to the Daily Beast. Trump fans have been fuming for weeks at the Drudge Report. Now, look, those of you not familiar with the Drudge Report, it's basically a right wing aggregation site. So they take stories from all different sources and, they aggregate them all for their audience so they can go and read these things, stuff from Fox News, even stuff from the New York Times, Washington Post. In fact, the problem here is that they've shared too many supposed left wing sources. So let me give it into that. Now, these Trump supporters are alleging that Drudge, by posting links, has backed Democrats when it comes to impeachment and has ignored Republican talking points in favor of the president. So now this brings to mind that if you were not 100% devoted to the dear leader, then the MAGA crowd will come after you. Kind of like what they tried to do with Fox News, except that it didn't quite work. Now, apparently, there is a new cottage industry online popping up to create Drudge Report clones and potentially steal some of their 80 million plus visitors to the website. Now, the 80 million figure came from the numbers from September. So, look, man, I mean, that's a lot of visitors. It's more than what we get. Now, here's the thing. So let me go through some of the names that this competition for Drudge Report's viewers or readers is, right? So now, one of them is News Ammo, Rantingly, Liberty Daily. Okay, that one makes sense. Okay, Liberty Daily, right? That's conservative, right? And What Finger? Fun times. Fun. Okay. So now the owners of these sites say, without evidence, they have seen huge bumps in traffic since outspoken conservatives began accusing Drudge of having an anti-Trump bias. Now, like I said, Drudge mainly does news aggregation, although they have broken individual stories. In fact, the reason that Drudge is even on the radar is because they originally broke stories of Bill Clinton having an affair with Monica Lewinsky. So that's a whole Lewinsky scandal. That's why they've gained such a reverence in right-wing news circles, right? So, like, I get, just got to point out why they're so well known in conservative circles. But now in the era of super crazy, that's apparently not good enough. No, you have to back Donald Trump 100%. And if you post too many left-wing sources, like the Washington Post, well then, I mean, that's it. You're done. You're obviously a tool of Silicon Valley. It's crazy. All right. Now, more from the story here. The Daily Beast points out that Gab, the social media network popular with white supremacists, also launched its own Drudge-style news aggregator site called Gab Trends, amid discontent from Trump supporters with Drudge. So now, how effective is that going to be? I don't necessarily know. I don't think there's a lot of white supremacists, but then again, look, I guess they're good. They can really corner the market. They're very niche, and I guess that works. I don't know. But as far as gaining broad appeal, look, I don't know. Ask Fox News if they've lost a significant number of Trump viewers that have gone over to, Gab or any of these other new popped up pro-Trump outlets. I don't know. What I do know is Fox News hasn't even lost Donald Trump. Not even the New York Times has lost Donald Trump. There's a recent story that came out that the White House still won't give up their subscription to the New York Times. Now, I think Donald Trump watches CNN. He watches Morning Joe because, of course, right? Reads the New York Times. Look, maybe it's less reading and more hate skimming, where he just looks for his name and then looks around his name to see if they're criticizing him or not, right? I also think he occasionally looks at the comics. Why not? and then rages at the crossword for being slightly too advanced for him, for his vocabulary. I know words, tremendous words. Right. But okay. Look, we've seen this before. We've seen right wing sites pop up before and generally not do very well. Like, literally, The Blaze is hemorrhaging money. I don't know how they're still, like, around, but they're still going, even though they're, like, running out of money. Maybe it's because of these right wing billionaires. But anyway, now as far as non billionaire funded sites, remember Reagan Book? It was supposed to be the right wing Facebook alternative. Didn't work out. Didn't work out very well. Or Trump TV. Trump TV with Boris Epstein. Oh, that's my favorite. Where they literally got made fun of because it was an absolute train wreck. Epic fail. Well, okay, anyway. The anger is real, right? In fact, you've got anger from such influential figures on the right as Jim Hoft, who is the founder of the Gateway Pundit and alleged floor pooper. He has repeatedly urged Drudge to, quote, come home. Come home to what? It's really amazing what happens when you dare to post some factual information. Drudge literally, like I said, is an aggregator of news. But, okay, apparently they dared to post too many factual articles from the Washington Post, especially about Donald Trump and Ukraine. So now, forget facts, right? The Republicans tend to live in an alternative universe, and any attempt to pop the bubble gets a massive rebuke. Again, 87 to 90% of conservatives support Donald Trump. So it's not as if it's a minority. These are Republican voters that are massively pro-Trump, that are buying these conspiracy theories. So when you point out that, no, look at the memo, read the memo itself. I'd say read the transcript, but he's got it locked away in the White House somewhere in a secret server. So, yeah, I mean, a secret server for national security purposes. Only the most classified stuff is supposed to go in there. And Donald Trump just locks away his calls and his transcripts. So all we get is a memo. That still, the memo is bad enough because you can see a pressure campaign on Vladimir Zelensky in order to do investigations into his political rivals. So there's that. But again, go against the right-wing narrative, go against Donald Trump, massive rebuke. Now, Howard Polskin, however, an observer who tracks right-wing media at The Writing, says, quote, if criticism of Drudge keeps happening, it may create an opening for one of these sites to really become much more popular with the audience. And that's what they're hoping for. Now, the Daily Beast also spoke to the operator of Whatfinger. So now, Whatfinger, it's actually kind of an interesting concept, really. So it seems like it's more social media, but they post news stories and allow you to thumbs up, thumbs down, or give a middle finger. Well, I mean, who of us on Facebook didn't wish for that option? Facebook, Zuckerberg, get on that. Not a bad idea. But anyway, this guy who identifies himself as a loudmouth editor named Sergeant Pat, he said, without providing evidence, unfortunately, that traffic had jumped 75% amid conservative dissatisfaction with Drudge this fall. Well, if that's true, good for him. Well done. Thumbs up. He said, and this is Whatfinger's operator, said our readers are libertarians and conservatives, and they say Drudge is too far left now. Too far left. Drudge, left wing. Complete and utter insanity. Come on. But again, I think these people live in the upside down. They don't get it. They don't get it. Reality, look, Trump supporters, I don't think they're going to actually give up Fox News. I don't think they're actually going to give up Drudge. I think they're making much ado about nothing because one thing that conservatives love doing is raging online at things and then not giving them up. Remember all the boycotts? They lasted about a day. Although it was, and let's be fair, a lot of the left-wing boycotts also don't do very well. But that's here another. No, I do think though that it was pretty funny to watch conservative boycotts of Nike and what was it, the coolers, because you essentially, and I forget the cooler maker, um, but because conservatives, they don't just boycott, they generally set things on fire or shoot them, and it's just really funny to see them either burning or shooting things that cost them that they already paid for. Hilarious as always. But hey, man, you do you, right? But at the same time, like I said, I don't think anything's going to last. Donald Trump's been raging about Fox News for months now, and he still hasn't stopped watching them. In fact, we just learned that Sean Hannity might know more about what the government's been doing than the government. And that's thanks to Donald Trump basically telling him everything. So he's got that kind of buddy close relationship with Sean Hannity, who is a Fox News host. So I don't think he's going to give up Fox anytime soon, to be fair. Um, and look, Paulskin basically said the same thing. He said on these conservative sites that are popping up, quote, I think you're going to see a lot of these sites falling by the wayside unless they can do it so cheaply, it really doesn't matter. He's got a point, because at the end of the day, unfortunately, media is kind of a business. And what you're doing, and the problem with these sites that's pointed out in the article is that they're not coming up with new features other than, of course, the middle finger reaction, which I like, because look, who hasn't seen that, right? Or wanted that and said, man, I really want to flip off this article right now. I'm serious. It's a really good idea. I like it. But unless you have something that's really new and innovated, and a lot of these sites don't, and they're just copying the format of Drudge Report, which again is very, very simple, to be fair. And that's one of the reasons that Drudge Report is so popular, is ease of use. And I can definitely understand the appeal of that. But if all you're doing is copying that, then of course you're not going to do very well. You've got to come with your own angle. You've got to do something original, maybe original reporting, or some sort of investigative journalism, or I know, imagine a conservative site doing that, or something, commentary. If you're not doing anything like that, then look, and you're just relying on the anger of Donald Trump supporters to sustain you, well, then you're not going to have a very good time in the already oversaturated media landscape. But then again, what do I know? I'm only in the media landscape. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that free video. Now I'm going to have to ask you a favor. Between the demonetization and the YouTube algorithm messing around with view counts, etc., we're having a hard time adjusting to the new YouTube reality, which is where you guys come in. See, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/TYTNation, set up to help us rely on you guys, the viewers, instead of big corporate ads. Look, you know the show. You know I'm not in favor of big corporations anyway. So help us transition away from relying on the ad model to pay the bills and sign up to be a patron, patreon.com/TYTNation. That goes a long way to help us keep the lights on. And you guys will know that you're supporting independent, progressive media.